What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Shep's Garage video. Today we are back with the 4th episode, finally, of the most popular series on my YouTube channel, the hidden features, tips, and tricks with the Mark 8 generation of the Volkswagen GTI and Golf R. Now, this has been the most popular series on my YouTube channel. I've gone over 50,000 views, and I'm kind of surprised that you guys actually enjoy this so much, but a lot of you guys have found this very helpful, and I've been trying to find more hidden features and tricks and tips about this car, which is why it took so long for the 4th episode. But I finally have a good amount of features and tips and tricks and all this type of stuff, and today I'm going to show you and tell you all about it. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. But first, if you're new to the channel and this is the first time seeing my face on your screen, don't forget to please click that subscribe button down below for more awesome videos like this with my Mark 8 GTI and other car content as well. I'm trying to become a full-time YouTuber, and I cannot do it without your guys' support. Before I get into the features and tips and tricks, I do want to have a quick disclosure real quick. If you haven't seen my past 3 videos on my Mark 8 GTI, this is my Mark 8 GTI, and I went out and I found all these tips, tricks, and features that the reviewers never told you about that actually make this car pretty cool. A lot of you guys really like this series, so if you own a Mark 8, go and watch the past 3 videos, or I'll just link them down below in the description so you guys can go right and click them. But this is the 4th episode of this series that I have came up with. We have a bunch of awesome hidden features, tips, and tricks in this video. Now, the first 2 features that I'm going to show you guys have been found by me by just spending time with this car. However, the rest of the hidden features, tips, and tricks I got off a Reddit post, which I'll also link down below in the description. I actually found it pretty interesting, so if you do own a Mark 8 generation Volkswagen GTI or Golf R, you may find it interesting to read that for yourself. Alright, all set, let's get straight into this video. Alright, so the first hidden feature with this Mark 8 GTI or your Golf R has to do with the hood prop and strut. Let me explain. So if we go in here and go pop the hood, you can see that I already made a video on this already, but I have bought an aftermarket hood strut for my car because the stock hood prop just didn't cut it for me. It felt too cheap, and it was a really cost-cutting move by Volkswagen. If you don't know what a hood prop is, basically it lays down right here where this yellow thing used to be, and it used to go right into here where this arrow is. You can see. I replaced it with a gas strut, so I don't have to prop it up. So I can just let my hood glide up, and it can stay up, and if I want to close it, I can just close it whenever I want. This was around $85. Now, what was interesting about this is all I had to do to install it was pop the little tip end right here and pop this little screw in right here and then clip this on to right here. What was interesting that I just noticed was, why was this so easy to do, right? Which leads me to believe that Volkswagen, when developing this car, probably had a hood strut in here like the Mark 7 generations, but probably last minute they backed out of that and chose a hood prop to save money. Maybe they were over budget, maybe the car was going to cost too much, maybe they wanted to lower the cost of the car, who knows? But that's probably why they went to a hood prop, and this is so easy to install, which is why aftermarket companies took advantage of this situation and made a hood strut. So my problem is still solved, but it's interesting how easy this was to install, because I normally think that it would be harder to install something like this than just a normal like gas strut on another car. Alright, the next hidden Easter egg, this is a bit of an Easter egg or feature, has to do with the Harman Kardon sound system. So the Harman Kardon sound system comes standard with the SE trim level and the Autobahn trim level. So sorry, Mark 8 GTI S owners, if you're watching this video, this won't apply to you. But if you own a SE GTI, an Autobahn GTI, or a Golf R, this will apply to you. So listen up. Now, a lot of people have complained about the Harman Kardon sound system, saying that it sounds like crap, which, you know, I haven't heard the Fender audio system myself for a long period of time, but the Fender audio system does sound very good. I also think this Harman Kardon one sounds very good. I have heard of people upgrading the Harman Kardon sound system, like upgrading the amp or the subwoofer or whatever in the back trunk area to make it sound better. Well, I have found an interesting feature that makes it sound better without doing any of that. Let me show you what I've done. So, let's start the car. And if we go to, let's just turn this air conditioning down just real quick. All right, perfect. So we go to the sound section right here. You can see that I have it, as soon as you open it, right? The little section, the menu here, is I have it selected under surround sound. You have also all these other settings like the bass fader and the sound focus and the surround sound, stuff like that. So I have the surround sound turned all the way up. This makes it sound the best. If you have it on any of these two, the sound focus or the bass fader, it will sound worse than on surround sound. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna play some music and I'm gonna see if the camera picks it up, but I'm hoping it does because this is very interesting. All right, so I have some non-copyright music up that I'm gonna play, and we are gonna start this out on surround sound, and then I'm gonna toggle between sound focus, bass fader, and surround sound, and you're gonna hear the big difference in the amount of bass and surround sound this sound system has with just leaving it on this option when you leave the menu. So let's start the music. I'm gonna turn this up so we can get the best sound possible. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, sound focus. Bass fader. I cannot be the only one hearing that. It definitely sounds so much better if you just leave it on surround sound. So, if you own a Mark 8 GTI with the Harman Kardon audio system or the Golf R, try leaving it on surround sound for yourself. Just like leaving the menu, but leaving it on surround sound. Obviously turn the sound all the way up, and you will hear how much better it sounds. Trust me on this. All right, the next interesting feature that I've noticed with the Mark 8 GTI and Golf R as well, this applies to all of them, is the ability to turn on and off the lane assist. So if you click this button right here, you can turn on and off the assist system. So you can see I have cruise control, side assist, front assist. One of the top ones here is lane assist. This is the ability to have the car stay in your lane. Now, I actually feel like I am one of the few people that likes lane assist. I don't know why I like it. I just feel like I feel safer with it on than with it off, but I see lots of people have it off. What's interesting is you can turn lane assist off and it will stay off. Now, you may be thinking, well, why is that so impressive? Why is that an interesting feature? Well, most cars, like my parents' Audis, for example, if you turn the lane assist off or the lane keeping off for the drive, then lock the car and come back later, it will turn back on again. It's like almost like a mandated feature that has to come back on every single time. Kind of like the auto start stop in this car. I can turn auto start stop off right now, but as soon as I turn this car off and lock it, it will auto defect to turn it back on. Very annoying. This, you can turn lane assist off, leave it, and it will never come back on ever again. So if you are that type of person, you can do that. You don't have to worry about ever turning it on and off ever again. That's a pretty nice touch. Now the next feature has to do with the screen setup and the heated seats and the steering wheel, as well as the cooled seats if you own an Autobahn or an SE with the leather package. Now, everyone knows how the infotainment system on this car is kind of crap. I will admit it, and I think it's one of the worst infotainment systems done by a German auto manufacturer. However, what if I told you that there was a way to skip all the lagginess that this has on startup and just get to turn on your steering wheel and heated seats or cooled seats whenever you want? Let me show you this feature. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to hit the little climate button for the climate control. That brings up your climate control panel. Then you're going to click the gear in the top right hand corner to these climate control settings. And as you can see, it says switch on at start of trip depending on the temperature. So if you want your seat heating on high and your seat ventilation on low, and you want your steering wheel heating on high, every time you start the car, depending on the temperature that it is outside, it will do that. So let's say it's a cold day in the winter, right? And it's like below 30 degrees and the car is really cold and and the screen's very laggy. You don't have to worry about clicking all these buttons at the start of the trip. You can start your car and the seat heating will automatically turn on and the steering wheel will automatically turn on. That is a pretty neat feature, I do say to myself. I don't think many cars have that as an option, but hey, this car does. Now next, this has to do with the unit settings on the Mark 8 GTI. Now, most of you may not find this interesting whatsoever. Those of you who live in the United States and use the other type of unit for miles an hour, like kilometers, for example, what's very interesting is if you change the speedometer or whatever, the mileage, to kilometers, it still shows the miles an hour, which I will tell you why this may be after I show you how to do it. If you ever find miles an hour and miles just don't work for you, you can go to settings and go to units, and it's all right here. So you can change your distance into kilometers. So my 23,589 miles turn into 37,000 kilometers. My miles an hour will go to kilometers an hour. And I can also do my temperature too, to centigrade. Now, what's interesting about this is even though I have changed my units for miles an hour to kilometers, it still shows the miles an hour. Now, I live in Massachusetts, which is a United States state. I think this must be a law or a mandate saying that even cars can have this option if they want to, but they still legally have to show the miles per hour somewhere in the display. That's what I think is the reason why this setting, it shows 2 zeros right here for kilometers and miles an hour. It must be some sort of mandate type thing. So if you ever want to do it, you can do it in your Mark 8 GTI. Just know that you're gonna have to see 2 zeros in your center display right there. But hey, if you want to do it, you can do it. Now the next hidden detail that I'm going to show you guys, which is probably going to be the last one for this video, has to do with the hazard light switch. Now, you've probably used this many, many times before, but you just haven't noticed it before. What I'm going to show you. Let me show you real quick. So here is where the hazard light button switches if you haven't used it yet. It is located where all these touch capacitive buttons are. So this is here for your assist systems, your climate control, your drive mode, and your parking camera menu. Now, if you go ahead and click the hazard light button, it's the only button in this entire center control stack. You can see that, right? Have you ever wondered why this is the only button? Well, once again, going to mandates with any car, this goes for any car, including Teslas even. If any car is gonna deletion the buttons, or get rid of all the buttons, right? The only button that's mandated to be a button is the hazard light switch. That is why if you go into a Tesla, for example, which has no buttons at all, that car also has a hazard light button, which I find pretty interesting that the government or the law mandates that the hazard lights have to be an actual button. I almost wish that climate controls could also be mandated to have an actual button, because, well, if you've heard of this car and have been with it before, you will know that the climate controls can be very annoying. But anyways, that is why the hazard light switch is a button, and it's the only button in the whole center control stack. And so those are all the hidden tips, tricks, and features with the Mark 8 GTI for this video. Let me guys know down below in the comment section down below what tips and tricks with this car that are hidden that you found, and maybe I will feature you guys in my next 5th episode of this series. I'm going to keep this series going until there are no more of these hidden features and tips and tricks left, because I enjoy doing this and I know you guys find these videos helpful. So on that note, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.